my season 15
Season 15.
of the Housewives, it was interesting because I never had watched the show. I never knew really what Housewives was. When I got the gig, it was because of Too Short and David, his manager, said there was an opening. So I get this gig. They're like, well, who do you know? I'm like, Kelly. Well, I've seen Kelly Dodd partying with my neighbor on the beach. And so I kind of know her. They're like, okay, you know Kelly. So they immediately pigeonholed me into, you're Kelly Dodd's friend. Well, I didn't know anything about Kelly, and I didn't know anything about anything. So okay, no big deal.
Did you guys ever meet before Housewives?
No. Oh, no, I saw her partying at my neighbor's house, but not, I mean, I should say relaxing at my neighbor's. I don't want to get in trouble. Sorry.
No, she was
Hanging out.
Hanging out.
Partying is a broad term.
Party's a broad term,
I mean,
But, and so, she's hanging out, and then I didn't like her at first at all. I thought she was,
shocker.
Yeah. Well, no, she was not my style, and but it didn't matter because I go, I get the gig on the Housewives. It was cool. And I didn't realize, I thought it was reality where you just be yourself. And I did not realize what you just said, which was you go on there and it's okay that they're assholes. It's okay that you got a bunch of bitches running around just calling you names, screaming at you, drunk. I just was not prepared. I was not ready for what hit me during that season. And so, I wish I would have had a second season, but I think, Andrew and I, we had to get to know that whole everything, whole world of drama. And there are people, like you said, you know a lot about Housewives. The culture of Bravo is insane. These people are
very dedicated.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, how did you feel when people were trolling you when you were on the Housewives?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely interesting. I don't pay attention to anything. So I don't really, I don't read anything. I don't listen to comments. So it didn't really bother me too much. But when I noticed it when I was around her and we go around Orange County, we were in London and some person was just.
It was insane.
Google-eyeing, I think she knows you. And then she came up and then hung out with us. Super cool, a little London, middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Was she oh my God?
Yeah, she was absolutely
we did not know this whole Bravo thing.
Made her week.
Yeah, and I always talk there's every housewife that only lasted one season has the same story of if I came back, I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
I knew what to do. Yeah, you don't. They really don't give you. They hire you and they're not going to give you advice.
They don't.
Put it this way: it's like having being in Rome, and there's a lion in the middle of the stadium, and they're like, "Go for it!"
Yeah,
and they give you a tiny little toothpick to fight it.
Well, and then when we were kids, there was 5 of us, and Elizabeth was more like the negotiator, trying to get everybody to calm Eck down. So that's kind of from what I saw, that's what she tried to do. But they don't want that. They want you to jab and poke and
they do. And what you also don't realize is when you're with people like Kelly or just anyone else that was on.
Yeah.
Who else was Vicky still on your season?
No,
can you believe this? My listeners will be listening to this and they'll be screaming.
She was a friend the year before.
So Vicky and Tamara got fired the year they brought me on, which was bad for me because everyone's like, you replaced Vicky and Tamara with her. And then I had the Bronwyn chick with the 19 kids or whatever.
Bronwyn.
And then I had, no, just kidding, the 8 kids. And then I had I never knew her, by the way. I never got to know her. She just hated me from the beginning, and I don't know why. Bronwyn. And then I was on the same season as, so Kelly Dodd was there, Gina, Emily. And then wasn't there one more?
Noelle?
That was it, right? No.
Can you believe this? But so my point is you take a Kelly or even an Emily and Gina, it's not only not reality for them, they come into the season with an agenda of how to play it. Right. So it's say Kelly.
They're calculated.
Yeah, and Emily are hate each other. You are the fresh meat. Let's get Elizabeth in my team. Let's get this one on my. So they calculate. I'm going to bring up this story. So you learn how to play it.
So Bronwyn contacted my ex-husband, found his information, and I couldn't believe what he told her. Of my personal private history. Yeah. I was shocked that anyone knew about my history. I was so appalled that Bronwyn would literally do that to me or anybody would do that to anybody, that I realized this show is all about fangs, devils, and bitches. I just couldn't even, my mind was like spinning on how to handle it. And then I realized that they kept calling me liar. Like Andrew, remember they kept calling us liars and she doesn't have money. She doesn't do this. And I was like, I am whatever I say I am. I didn't realize you had to lie.
And you had to fight, even though because like Elizabeth, she has stuff, and they they didn't have as much as she did. So
I
they
own
want to
my
talk.
houses.
They want to
lot
talk
don't.
smack. Yeah, they want to talk smack, and then they assume, because I'm just used to around here, everybody, if you have something, you triple it, and that's what you tell everybody. So when people say around here that I have got this, everyone tries to knock you down to figure out what you really have so they can talk crap about you.
Yeah.
But when they did that to her, like, oh, she's just telling the truth,
They
which
couldn't
nobody
figure out
does.
everything I said I owned. I actually did. Like, here's the deed.
Because you're like down to earth, and
Yes,
so people
because she's
don't.
not from around here. She's from up north.
But I thought everybody was rich.
Right.
I'm like, okay, you're all renting?
No.
Wait a minute.
You had Shannon on your season 2.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
Shannon. Yes.
How could we forget Shannon?
Yeah.
I just ran into her at the grocery store right there.
Did you?
Yeah, just like a
Did
couple
she say
weeks-
hi to you?
Yeah, I said hi.
She hired my criminal defense lawyer for her DUI. So, it's what goes around comes around. Thank you, Gina. I hired Gina's DUI lawyer for my extortion case.
And that's who's.
Yeah.
See, yeah, that's the thing. No, anything from your past will come out. I mean, these people dig.
Yeah.
They dig, and this is the culture.
Yeah.
And then they're like, let me wait till Elizabeth pisses me off, or let me wait till I'm looking around and it's a boring season.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring this out. So they're like producing from within.
But how do you handle all the negativity? Because you're a nice, easygoing guy from what I can see. I can tell you have a little bit of
I have an
fire
edge,
at you. You definitely have that side, but you're also, and you're very calculated, and you're very,
I'm a Gemini, baby.
you're a Gemini?
Are you a Gemini?
That's my
We're
ex-husband.
Aries.
We're Aries.
Aries and Gemini usually get along.
we get
though.
along. No, we get along. I married one. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I know your style. You're a bottom and a top.
We have a little bit of everything here. Yeah, we have a little bit of everything. How do I handle it? Like all the people, the personalities?
Yeah,
or-
the negativity, like, because it seems like it's all consuming. Because I realize it's more like today's housewives are like the soap operas from back in the day when they used to have Days of Our Lives. I'm aging myself, but these are the days of your lives as the stomach
General
turns.
Hospital.
And so they don't have that anymore, right? So it's kind of like now we have housewives, we have Andrew Cohen, we have all this stuff, but it's very negative. It's very just negative. How do you handle it?
Well, that's a good question. I have to say, and I don't understand how people don't do this, but it really has become a business to me that I could truly, this is the Gemini side.
Yeah.
Yeah, because listen, I have a
Geminis
lot
are
of,
loaded, by the way. You guys are rich.
we
Geminis know how to save their pennies.
Andy Cohen's a Gemini.
He
like to say,
is?
yeah.
Oh, that's why I like him. Okay.
Because look, I have a lot of people that love me and hang on every word, and I have a lot of trolls that come after me, and this is advice that I would give to someone. When you start something that is putting you in the public eye or partly in the public eye, there are going to be people that hang on every word and just live for you. They're just like this woman in London that you say that I can't even believe, they're just going to live for you. And then there's going to be people that you could fly in on a unicorn with rainbows coming out of your ass, and they're just going to hate you. And you know what? Neither person knows you.
Yeah.
So
you're
that's
right.
my advice. So
You're right.
something happened, like of course, like I'm a human like when I started, but you just, at some point you're like, I just don't care. And you just learn. I read comments because I like to respond to the people that listen to me every day. I mean, I'd like to not read any of the comments and not do any of it, but
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
But that helps you connect with the audience,
It
which in
does.
turn helps you monetize
It's engagement,
your life.
right?
Yeah, and I think when you have a bad, like I know when I have a bad episode. No one else, some people are like, that was a great episode. And I'm like, it sucked. I mean, I say that to myself. It was a horrible episode, but thank you. And then other people are like, this episode was phenomenal. And I'm like, it was. Like we
nailed it.
We got a good one here. I mean, it's been a while. So I think like when you have some bad episodes or you're like, geez, that's the people, I think they feel like it's a community and they stay with you
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, he always, and people tell me, oh my God, you always answer me. And I'm like, I mean, it's
you just sit in bed?
Engagement's really, really good if you can handle it.
yeah.
I've literally been getting so tired. Like I've been trying to answer everybody, and I started all these channels and everything, and I'm so tired. My eyes just looking at my phone. I'm like, like by the time I'm done, the last couple weeks, I'm exhausted, and I'm thinking, I love to listen to their opinions, what they have to say, but I mean, kudos to you but you're making money at it. When you're not making any money, you're like, why am I doing this?
Daily Logic Check.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Daily Logic Check. I'm Elizabeth Vargas, your host, with my co-host, Andrew Vargas. If you like what you saw, you like what you see, click like, subscribe, follow us, and support us on Patreon. Peace, love, and happiness.